Well, the final one for the year. Welcome to Beers with Rich. I'm Rich, editor of Under the Radar Report. Ho ho ho, this year's beers is again powered by Santa. And as I said, the last for the year, so what you've got to do is grab your stocking and get ready for some stock filler. Let's crack it open. This beer is designed to charge you up for the holidays, that's for sure. That's it. Both metaphorically and spiritually. It's an all-weather special batch, 7% strength IPA called Isolation Island by Sauce Brewing based in Marrickville. Let's give it a taste. Oh, God. Ho, ho, ho. If Santa has too many of these, there could be some missed deliveries. Oh, jeez. Hairs on the chin stuff. That's right. This week's beers is all about growth. What to do with it, how to harness it. That's right. The foundation of boosting your future gift-giving potential. So in this week's actual Small Caps issue, we go into depth on a couple of stocks that are in industries where growth is literally going through the roof. One is gaming. Specialising the stock is in mobile gaming. Mobile gaming is growing at 20% a year. This is an industry spend in the vicinity of US 170 billion. That's an annual spend. Mobile is on track to be half of it very soon. So instantly you get the idea of what I'm talking about. Lots of people are grabbing mobiles and playing games with them. Then what's powering those batteries? Lithium. I mean, lithium we also talk about in the issue. Its price has almost doubled in the past few months. Here's to that. I mean, we got the lithium's call, right? Well, this really is quite a strong beer. Let's look at the reasons behind, just quickly. Obviously, there's a lot more detail, but the first reason is supply. There's not enough of it. Nobody's found an S-Candida yet. It's quite complicated to produce, so there's a supply deficit that's only getting exacerbated for one reason. Why is that? Everyone's buying EVs. Global EV sales are going through the roof, albeit from low levels, but it's only going to increase. So there's a secular trend going here, obviously mini cycles within it, which is the key to why some of these lithium stocks have really taken off. But obviously a growing industry is good, but not all lithium stocks, not all gaming stocks have gone well. Certainly not all fintech stocks are going well. I mean, that is definitely the case. Look at Square, now called Block. That's actually gone down 40% since announcing the takeover of Afterpay just over 5 months ago. Look at Zip. Zipco is down 70% from its highs. There's been industry carnage. Industry carnage means opportunities as well. And that's why next week's issue, we're uncovering some diamonds that we've discovered in the fintech world. So that's going to be something to look forward to. But what we look at within this context is the all-important fundamentals, which no matter what industry is what you need to be focused on in order to make money over the long term. Let's have a toast to fundamentals. Geez, Isolation IPA. Isolation Island IPA. Yeah, I can see where they're coming from. Anyway, in fintech, why has it been hit? Investors are concerned about competition. Like basically a lot of players are chasing the same customers. Fintech seems to be reaching a level of maturity, I guess, that people hadn't anticipated that would be reached this early on. So we're going to be looking at that, like, the industry factors and looking at stocks, because it's all about stocks. And fundamentals, as I've said, is key. Financial pillars, balance sheet, cash flow, profits. That's one thing. Also, especially in the small cap world, industry niche. Most companies are at some point price takers, so you need to have a level of pricing power among a diversified customer base. So 3 stocks I think epitomize what I'm talking about. These are 2021 standouts where fundamentals are translating into big wins. And just by coincidence, these are stocks we tipped. The first one, Lake Resources. We bought in at 33 cents early in July, now 86 cents. So obviously tripling in less than 6 months. What's going on? Basically, we liked it because of the fundamentals of lithium that I talked about before, but most important is the company's competitive edge. Basically, it's got this, heaps of land in, heaps of acreage in prospective acreage in South America, in Argentina. So this is like an area known as the Lithium Triangle. So it's got a substantial resource, but this resource also has big potential to grow. And the stock has access to an outstanding technology, like called direct lithium extraction. They've got a deal with a company that produces this technology, and which just happens to be owned or part owned by Bill Gates. So it's got some credibility there. So what this does, this DLE, I'm not an expert on it, but it takes hours to extract the lithium rather than, months that evaporation takes. So that's a big competitive edge. Last, it's got an experienced management team. So as these projects move closer to fruition, closer to cash flow, that means the NPVs rise. So that's what we've seen with Lake Resources. As it moves closer to, the green button being pressed, that means that the valuation goes up, especially considering the strong industry fundamentals. Next one, this one's trebled. We bought in at 64 cents in late June. Now it's $2.25. What is it? Probably haven't heard of it unless you've been under the radar. Tuas, TUA stock code. It's an under the radar report special, like this special batch IPA. Tuas is a mobile telco. Basically, they operate in Singapore. So that's pretty much all investors knew. Alongside that, management had a particularly good pedigree for success in his field, the company being a spin-off from TPG led by David Teo, the redoubtable David Teo. So the company has also a rock-solid balance sheet. This, like cash of $135 million, is a great insurance policy. So what they're doing is trying to disrupt the Singapore mobile market, where incumbents were uncompetitive at the low price points, which is, exactly TPG's speciality, and now Tuas. So the stock sat around for a year doing nothing, but all the meantime, people were selling out because it was a spin-off from TPG. So lots of these fund managers that didn't want the stock because they didn't meet their mandates got rid of it. That's an opportunity for small cap investors. Basically, fast forward today, it's tripled. And guess what? They've got almost 500,000 subscribers, and they're close to being EBITDA break even. Booyah. Let's see if it can go further. Capral. What better way to celebrate Christmas than a profit upgrade? And that was today. So here's to a profit upgrades. We bought this one at close to $6 in January. Now it's close to $9, up 50%. Not bad for a boring old aluminium products producer. Boring, I think not. Nothing's boring when you're making money. In earlier this year, this company had a great balance sheet. They also had a much lower cost base because they had this big restructure. So that means they get operational leverage. So when things are going well, earnings can be supercharged, which, guess what? That's what's happening. Domestic growth has been rebounding. Limited export competition because of supply chain difficulties. So, and they've also made an acquisition. So they made an acquisition of an extrusion plant in Smithfield. So the point with Capral is that a company that's well prepared for when the cycle moves against it can really make big profits when the cycle moves in its favor. So you don't invest in companies when things are going gangbusters, or not necessarily. You wait for the appropriate opportunity, and that's what we're doing. That's what we're looking for, opportunities to buy strong companies. So what's coming up? Well, as I mentioned, the Fintech report, that's going to be exciting. And then we hit the fund managers roundtable. I don't know why, but every time I hit this bit, dogs bark. Jeff Wilson and our own idle speculator and friends will be giving you lots and lots of stocks and lots of ideas. So as usual, there's A lot to look forward to, but not as usual. It's Christmas. And thank God for that. We all deserve a few presents from the year we've just had. Merry Christmas. Cheers.